All right.
And you're buying a house?
Buying a house. Your boy's about to buy a house today at some point.
Today?
Yeah, today.
You guys are signing today?
Well, I don't know. I guess we'll probably, sign, but then it's like a 60-day closing period. So we'll go in pending inspections.
That's crazy.
Pending inspections, we might get a house. No, but it is crazy. What's crazy is doing stuff for the first time and like understanding like the grace that you have when you go into a season. Like I've never bought a house before, but I didn't need to know how to buy a house until I bought a house.
Right.
Now there's stuff that obviously I wish I would have known a little bit beforehand that would better prepare me. But I'm just saying like, it's not like I was completely like just thrown. It's the same thing with like being a GYC director or going into anything. It's like or having a kid. Like you can obviously take care of nieces and nephews, but until you have a kid.
Until you have your own kid.
Yeah, you don't know what to do. And then even then it's like you have literally a baby that's depending on you. You cannot communicate, but you know what to do. But you've never done it before.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy when you think about it.
Was the house, like I know you, right when you guys got married, you wanted a house immediately because I remember the story with Pastor Bill.
Oh, yeah.
What was it like? Did you just have to like the patience piece to get like when did you know the door opened to like now's the time to buy a house?
Well, man, so
because you guys have probably had the means to do that.
Yeah, we forgot about a house when we got married, but it was like we were like, okay, we probably need to be in an apartment because let's be married for a year. We don't know what we want, so let's stay in a nice apartment that's like still we can commute everywhere, 2 bedrooms, that kind of stuff. And then last year, obviously, Allie was pregnant, that kind of stuff. So we're like, our lease was up in April. We're like, yeah, we're going to look for a house. And look for a house. First time ever looking for the house. They were still like, people like bidding each other, like trying to outbid, paying like $40,000, $50,000 more than the house is worth. So going through that whole process of like, okay, this is how you buy a house. This is our realtor. This is how you go see a house. Like, these are the things that we're looking for. Like,
can you imagine being LT's realtor?
No,
dude?
like straight
That's
up. It's
crazy.
Kira. Shout out Kira Tyler. But no, like I was raised in Section 8 housing.
That boy's going to look at houses.
Like,
that's funny.
It's crazy. Like we drove up to go see the house that we're probably about to buy, and I'm in the parking, like the driveway, and I'm like, I can't believe we're looking
at
this house right now. Like,
it's a nice house.
It's a nice house, and genuinely, like I've come from Section 8, like apartments, like 1-bedroom apartment, 7 kids, like probably moved, like in high school, probably lived in 15 different houses in high school, like just in high school alone.
That 4 years.
Like in that 4 years, moving apartments, houses, that kind of stuff.
Crazy.
So just shuffling around. So then it's like, I'm about to buy a house of my own. And my older brother, Keenan, he's like set a lot of like standards in our family because he's the first to buy a house. Yeah. I'm the first to graduate college, but he's the first to get married and continue his marriage and buy a house. So like, he's already set that standard, but it's just cool. I mean, where we come from, I'll never forget where we come from, but it makes it easy to look at houses that we're looking at. Cause I'm like, there's a roof over our head and we got carpet and doors that shut. Like
I know it's almost like you gotta be prepared to be able to appreciate something like that, but also not, cause probably back in the day, you'd look at a house like that and you're like, wow, I would love, like, you would love to own, like your flesh is like, wow, this is really exciting. But now it's like, now for you, it's like, no, this is just like a home.
No, 100%.
Like, so you gotta, there's a certain level of like appreciation and placing things in the right, like valuing it properly.
Yep.
Right. Where it's not like, oh, look at me, I'm buying this, $500,000 house or whatever. It's like, no, this is just like the fruit of my patience and like my diligence and hard work. And it's a nice house.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I mean, yeah, it's wild, man. But it's crazy, like all the thoughts and, processes when there's a big decision, quote unquote, like a house that, you're going through. Like, obviously, if you're married and buying a house, you have to come in agreement on that. Yeah. So obviously you're looking for 2 different things in houses. So like the enemy can seep in that way. And then, I think something, I like it, I'm gone. Like I don't really need logically, I don't need it like in my head to make sense.
Right.
Allie does. So like just trying to figure out those things and going back and forth, which it's awesome now because we've come to an agreement and we understand. But previously trying to do that, it's like, it's easy to get in arguments here or there. And it's like, what are we doing? Like we're looking at a house, like we get to buy a house and regardless, we don't need a house.
Yeah.
We can stay in an apartment. Like we're good.
Yeah.
But, and it's also crazy because we just talked about, we came from 2 different kind of, like she grew up in a family that has Sunday dinners and has had the same house for literally still have the same house now. So like still go back there where I'm, you know, like I'm in a kind of a broken home, quote unquote, with a single mom, like moving from place to place. But there's like different things that we can help each other out with, but still different like poor mindsets that we have from, you know, the different families we were raised from, you know, like
you guys just have different perspectives.
Yeah. Like, you know, her family is used to like saving money and that kind of stuff, which sometimes can be a bad thing because like you're holding on to money. Like
you're being like,
you're being frugal or something like that. And then my family is like, hey, you don't have money. The money you have, you're spending. So like, I'm like, hey, let's go. I don't care. Let's get it. So we balance, you know what I'm saying? But it's that cool in between, but it's that real life stuff that like you get into when you're in it. But I mean, you got to choose each other every day, which is the cool thing. Crazy, bro. I had a homie, I had a friend that's been watching this podcast, one of my homie that is at Lindenwood. But he had a friend that just got baptized a couple of weeks ago and just wants to get planted more in church and stuff. So he's like, I've been sharing the podcast with him. Like he DM'd me yesterday and just asking like some questions about, I don't even know where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Dang it. It was something good.
Well, you got people that are watching the podcast. That's good.
People that are watching the podcast. Maybe to circle back. That was about to be good, but I forgot, bro.
Dang.
Yeah. Dang it. What was I talking about? Whatever.
I don't know, man. We were talking about houses and.
Well, let's talk about, I mean, you just freaking proposed to homie.
Yeah. The
homegirl, Ellie. So my man's knee got weak finally. So how was that process?
That was good. I mean, I don't feel any different. That's what I've been telling people. Like, the engagement piece is,
and everybody's like, "Oh, just wait, you know, it'll hit you." When
the engagement piece is interesting because the girl, I think it's a much different experience for the female. I mean, and I'm only speaking to my what I've experienced since, you know, during and then after. I guess in my mind, I'm like, I made that decision a long time ago. So, or like, it's been solidified. It's like, I've told her I love her. I do love her. Like, I don't. And it's like now you know, you're gonna be my wife. So now me getting on a knee and proposing is like just a form, like.
Well, yeah, and like that moment is a surprise for her, but a moment that's built up for you for like you're going to buy the ring, knowing the date, setting up. So there's
which, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it was good. It was good. I'm excited.
Can you tell he's just super pumped? Like, he is thrilled. No, I'm kidding. This is the same way I was. So I was telling people, I'm like, yeah, I mean.
I mean, I'm trying to. I mean, it's kind of like Pastor Taylor would say. He doesn't ever, you know, not his personality to be super celebratory. I can certainly be celebratory, but I'm not like good at faking. Like you can bring a lot of energy.
Yeah,
I try to, but if I try too hard, it's like there's no, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can tell when it's like, oh, no, I'm kidding. Oh, just kidding.
But yeah, man.
So. I mean, is it 6 months, a year? How
7
long?
Months.
7 months.
Yeah. And I met her the day before I started the internship. So,
look at Jesus, man.
Look at Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, truthfully,
you submitted yourself. Boom, boom, boom.
Truthfully, I mean, I'd been 2 or 3 years without dating at all, and you know, once, you know, I just had been praying that whole period of time, as you know, and it's probably a good piece of advice for people that are single. That are getting to the point of like, or getting to the thought process of, maybe there's not somebody out there for me. Like, that was a desire of my heart to be married. I spent a lot of time in relationships that I shouldn't have, like kind of through college, and just wasn't being mature in the way that I was pursuing women. But that 2 to 3 year period of time when I was single, I didn't date, but I knew that my heart was being prepared, and I was being like shaped and molded into the husband that I needed to be to attract the type of girl that I wanted as a wife. And so I told Ellie that, I've told Ellie this, I got so comfortable being single and being on my own because I was confident, and I was becoming more confident in who I was. So it's like now, in the past, where I would be in a relationship to like fill a void or fill time or fill, you know, fleshly desires. Now I'm like, I don't have time or energy for that type of relationship. So it's just a maturing thing. And you know, I knew that getting married and having a wife was a desire of my heart. And the word says, delight yourself in the Lord and he'll give you the desires of your heart. So in that period of singleness, I continued to just believe that, Lord, I pray, God, give me the eyes to see whenever whoever this girl is, comes into my purview and allow me to recognize it. And, so whenever we met, I was like, okay, yeah, it was pretty quick where I was like, okay, this makes sense. And, kind of same thing with kind of in the same vein as of the, like, you're getting a house, like you were kind of patient through the season. That's how I was, like, being single. And it's like, okay, well, here's kind of, it felt like kind of a reward.
Yeah.
It's like I made a decision to do the internship, like released my desire for what my life should look like. And then like literally he was like, here's your wife.
That's
it's
money.
Pretty cool.
So how long, do you guys know how long the engagement is going to be? Or?
Oh, dude, I don't know. That's a conversation we're starting to have now, and the wedding planning and all that, which I hear mixed things about. I know some people love it. I'm starting to think, I don't know if I'm going to like that part, but
yeah,
I want to elope, dude. I don't want to like, here's where I'm at. I'm like, I want the gifts from people, but I don't want to go through the process of having to think, should I invite this person? Like if you're, and I've told you this, if you're fringe, like, I don't know, like I shouldn't be having to think, do I want you to be in my wedding? Like if you're kind of on the.
Who set it up that you have to pay to be celebrated? This is the craziest thing in the world, and let's talk about it. All right. So you're telling me, I think Miss Vanessa, who is our hospitality person here and she's an elder at Guts Church, but she always breaks it down, like saying like, it's not okay if you RSVP to a wedding and not show up because, that's like
There's
$15
money.
a head that, that they're counting on for food and that kind of stuff.
Right.
So then when you look at it like that, it's like, then people get like, why are you not I'm like, dude, be quiet. Are you giving me a gift? How about we equally trade this off? Give me a $15 QT card and you can come to my wedding. Like, this is the weirdest thing ever. And then like you realize how expensive certain things are, like stamps to send out to 400 people invites. Yeah. Stamps can run it up. Yeah. Like 10 cents in stamps. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, I just spent $110 on stamps. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, get eloped, bro.
It feels get eloped.
Get eloped.
It feels weird. I don't know.
Are you guys buying a house? Are you going to buy a house? Because you stay with your cousin right now?
Yeah, we kind of
in a bachelor pad.
Co-own that property.
You got like a ping pong table in your living room, right?
No,
with like a flat screen TV.
Right when we moved in, we did. It was
like,
just like,
this is awesome, ping pong table. Open the fridge, it's nothing but drinks. That's it.
Literally.
No food.
No, that's all it was. When we moved in, it was beer, it was ping pong table, it was couch, and it was TV. That's all we needed.
All you needed. Just tone on the Sooners and watch them go. No, I'm kidding.
They're on the Cowboys, dude.
Watch the
this
Cowboys.
Guy's a Cowboys
lose. Oh my God. Yeah,
that's
you see the blue, man.
That's a bummer.
It is a bummer. I just posted yesterday. Worst coaching staff in history. It's hard for me to be a fan. I pray for Louis every day that he doesn't go through what I've gone through. I've never witnessed a Super Bowl. I've witnessed 2 playoff wins in 28 years of my life.
Have you been a Cowboys fan since the jump?
Since
or
birth.
What? Just from what? Just proximity?
From jump. Well, my family's from Texas.
Okay.
We don't have any professional team here in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
The Chiefs sucked.
Yeah.
And yeah, my family, like my whole family's from Dallas. Like I stayed in Dallas for like 3 years growing up, that kind of stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? It's easy. But now it's not.
Now it's not.
Jerry Jones is one of the worst decision makers.
He's getting
Anyways,
old,
this
man.
is not a. Yeah, that's
How old
else.
is he? He's like 90.
I don't know. He's not gonna die. So he's he's ageless, bro. Like
ageless.
he has all the money. He's gonna stay alive, and the Cowboys are gonna continue to be 8-8
Just
and win
marginal.
one playoff game.
That sucks. I'd hate to be
But
a
the
fan.
biggest organization in the world. How is that a thing? How are you the biggest organization, sports organization in the world, and you have not won more than 2 playoff games in 28 years?
There's a problem. It's a leadership problem, right? You got to
There
start
you go.
from the top.
There we go. Hey,
Jerry.
That's what Guts teaches us as a leadership problem.
Yeah. No, really, top down, man.
Well, your mom just joined the internship.
Mom joined the internship.
How's that? She's like, what is this, her
exciting.
second day or third day? Yeah.
Third day.
Yeah, third day in.
Her head's spinning for sure. She's like, and it's funny because she's like, what about this? And what about that? And what about this? I'm like, just chill. Like, you're going to get, and I can, you know, I can understand where she's coming from because that's how everybody is the first couple of weeks of the internship where it's just a lot. it's a lot to digest. But man, it's cool. I mean, I think originally I was like pretty shocked by it, quite honestly. And I was thinking of the dynamic of, okay, how am I going to be in the internship with my, I just felt like, ooh, this is interesting. And then LT, who's a couple years older than me, is like one of the directors, and I'm going to be directing a class of interns with a couple elders in it. It just, you know, and that's where it's like you can look at it from the natural side of things and like, okay, this doesn't add up. But whenever it doesn't account for the supernatural, like the spiritual side.
Yeah.
And so for me, I've seen what the internship has done in my life. So I'm like, dog, I want my whole family in here. Like,
well, it's kind of crazy because a lot of your family is in this building right now.
yeah.
Your mom,
Got
your
3
sister,
family
you,
members.
then you got Simone, who's
Yeah,
your
there's 4
in-law.
of us.
Like, it's kind of crazy.
It is crazy. I mean, and it just like, it just goes to show, like, I mean, I don't know. Those who are planning the house, right?
Yeah.
Like planted. There's a different understanding of what planted means. Like, we're planted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're flourishing, you know? So, yeah, it's cool, man. What's going on with you? How's it GYC director role? Has that been cool?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, obviously I love kids. I love like,
You
know,
do?
Yeah.
Oh,
Love kids,
I didn't know
obviously.
that. I didn't know.
GYC director. But
obviously.
yeah.
I have to.
No, it's good, man. It's just been I'm just learning and figuring out stuff as we go.
What's been the most challenging part of that so far?
The most challenging part about being a GYC director is probably just doing the other roles here at the church, to
Doing
be honest.
everything at the same time.
Yeah. But
being who do
it's awesome. Like I know there's development in it. I know there's growth. I can be a better planner. It's making me plan better. So like my head is spinning, but I know like, you know, I'm growing in this process of like, I love having my hand in a lot of areas. Like I don't like doing the same thing every day. So like being across 4 different departments and like literally I'm in 8 different offices every day talking about different topics and different events and different like things. And I'm like, I love this. But at the same time, you're like, I got to be a better like planner. It's like, it's forcing me to develop myself in a different kind of way, which is cool. Like,
yeah, you made the comment too that there's a different level of like responsibility spiritually or scripturally that you've got to like now. It's like a new level.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know what verse it is in the Bible, but it says like, I mean, those who, you know, are preaching or teaching will be judged harsh, like a little harsher.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
That's just facts. And it's, I mean, really, if you're giving somebody advice at any level, whether that be your best friend or not, and it's like a weighty situation, it's like you want to make sure you're giving the best advice. Of
course.
Because if something happens, it's going to come back on you, or you're going to like,
they're trusting you
100%, which again, it's not me. Don't like, I'm pointing them towards God.
Yeah.
So that's a pressure that the enemy is trying to build up with me. And I'm like, you know, but at the same time, I understand the weight of like, there's kids that think they're dumb or stupid or not good enough or thinking about suicide or just thinking about like other thoughts. And it's like, yeah, I mean, and I only get to be in front of these kids for an hour or 2 hours a week. They come for an hour or 2 hours on Wednesday and an hour on Sunday. So it's like trying to get in their lives on the daily, text messages, how are you doing, going to sports events, which it's been cool. Like Allie and I, like taking Louie to, you know, Olivia's senior night basketball game. It's like I'm going to go to, you know, March 1st to track meet, to like all these athletes that we have at Guts, which are going to go D1. I'm not going to their track meet because they're D1, but it's cool. Like I'm like going around and like cheering on these kids and like bringing like, these kids might have one person in the stands. Like we went to Olivia's basketball game. They could probably fit 100 people in the stands. There was 20 of us from GYC, like leaders, kids, parents. Cool. And it's like, that's a big crowd for one person. The stands only fit 100. So like that stuff like gets me hyped up because I know how much of an impact that is for kids.
Sure.
Like, I mean, it's cool, man. I know it's only going to get better.
Yeah.
Like the more I'm doing it, but just, I love Guts.
Yeah. So. What's funny is I feel like this is just obviously you've been given a responsibility to pour into kids' lives, but this is also like a new season for you and probably a season that is going to only elevate your abilities because you've obviously never done anything like this before.
No.
I mean, it's kind of intimidating to honestly be like have the responsibility of all of the youth church. I mean,
Bro, it's crazy. Like if you think about it, like genuinely, we call it director head. I'm totally fine with that. But if you talk anywhere else, like my friend in Florida,
Preacher,
it's a pastor. Like 100%. I'm a youth pastor or whatever. But
youth pastor.
But when you go,
LC is a youth pastor.
I know. But I've been like, you see those cringe videos on like Instagram, like, hey, what's up? But I'm like, oh, I do not want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. I've always like thought that guy was cringe. I've like never pictured myself as like the guy, so like
pastor.
But the crazy thing is like, again, being graced for it. It's just like, it's all these like certain things. It's like, yeah, I wasn't like, I'm graced for it now. Like,
well, and also going against like what the stereotype is. If the stereotype of a youth pastor is this, Guts is the opposite.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying with like SUB30 right now. It's like, we're a young adults group, but not what you think. Like, I'm trying to do something completely different from what your stereotypical church young adults group looks like.
Yeah.
Because no one's really attracted to the stereotypical, youth pastor.
Yeah.
Those guys are weird.
They really are, unfortunately. And to each his own,
I love all the,
we're all knitted and joint together. There's a place for all of us in the body. But
and there's a place for weird youth pastors.
Yeah, 100%. Just not here. You know what I'm saying? But it's been awesome just being able to be around kids, man. And then again, I get to dream and just have vision. Like, what do you want to do? Like, what does summer camp look like? What does spring break look like? Like, here's a budget of however much money. Like, use this to connect. And that kind of, it's really cool to like do that stuff too. Cause I think, okay, I don't take this role, like, I don't see this role as less than a 4-year role.
Yeah.
Period. Which I'm not looking to leave here in 4 years anyways, but I'm just saying that's like the value of this role. I feel like that person should see a freshman class through.
Sure.
But I start to think like, okay, like what if ministry, like this kind of ministry, full-time ministry, which we know ministry is full-time regardless, outside these walls. What is it? What's the word? Is it vocational?
Vocational.
Yeah, vocational ministry where it's like this. Like, what if that's not for me? And it, like when I'm in my 30s, like, what do I do? Then I kind of like start thinking, I'm like, I literally can do anything. I can do anything from this place. Like, I'm not thinking about it, but it's a thought, a natural thought.
Of course.
Like, am I going to do this forever? What am I going to do when I get like hit
you
certain
always
age?
think like 10 years from now.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So it's thinking about that, but it's also like, I can genuinely, like, what field, like if you wanted to work here for the next 3 years and then go into whatever field, you name it.
Yeah.
We have that here.
Yeah.
So it's not really like, and it's like, you almost have that extra blessing and grace, like coming from a place like this. Like, I don't know. It's cool. But being grace for the moment, like we talked about at the beginning, is just a big thing, because at the beginning of like, taking over the director role, I'm like, I think connecting with kids, talking to parents, leading leaders, that kind of stuff. I think I could do. There's no like having fun, that kind of stuff. That's me.
Well, and you didn't have a dad growing up.
No.
So, I mean, there's probably quite a few GYC students that either have parents that have split, didn't have a dad in their life, have familial issues one way or another that you can kind of empathize with, relate to.
Oh, 100%. And that's what's cool about like going to these sporting events with my wife and my son. I'm like, this is what I was seeing when I was like 12 and 13, when Chris Hart was coming to my sporting events with Molly and Blakely when she was like 3. Like, when you start like literally Tuesday before I preached my first as a GYC director, I went over to Chris Hart's house. They invited me over. The family was over there, and it was all the kids are running around. Louie's laughing, and like Chris is like, "Isn't it crazy that you were a year younger than Blakely when we met you?" And I'm like, his oldest daughter, who's like 13 or 14. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
And now I'm about like tomorrow I'm on the stage speaking to her.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's how life works. And we hear it all the time and we just kind of like brush it off. Like, but it's like crazy how things like circle back like that.
Yeah.
But just being grace for the moment. Like I was talking to Swag, like, man, I'm just like, I don't consider myself a preacher or a speaker. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not me. I'm a guy.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I talked to multiple people and they just tell me these stories in the Bible where it's like, yeah, you weren't until you were.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and it's like, the stories about, I don't know what it was, but
I know what you're talking about. I think I know what you want to say.
Oh my gosh. some story in the Bible. I'm getting better. I should have wrote this down while he was speaking. But it was basically, I want to say,
was it,
I'm thinking
King
about it,
David?
and Cole keeps cutting me off. I swear I'm right there. What is it? What'd you say?
Is it King David that was elevated? Like,
I mean, probably that, but I was thinking about like maybe the. Okay, I'm not going there because cut.
wait,
Whatever.
no, go there.
Huh?
What is it?
No, I should have known what it was.
Dang. Shoot. Come on,
It was a
dude.
group of people in the Bible that maybe were told that maybe as some type of. It's yeah.
Come on. Come on.
No, I'm not because I'm about to butcher it. There's a group of people in the Bible. They're not warriors at one point, and they have to take a part of the land. And until that moment, they weren't warriors.
Yeah.
And then they were all like farmers, that kind of stuff. I'm not going there. Actually,
I
we're
know
we're going totally different. Circle back next week on the podcast. I'm gonna follow back with that story.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
What's actually crazy is that when I spoke like 2 weeks ago over, we've been on a I'm Him series, HEM, like the hem of the garment, and GYC, that kind of stuff. So just talking about radical faith and just stories of the Bible. So like the lady with the issue of blood, the 12 years getting healed, like the dude 30 years or 40 years by the pool of Bethesda, like instantly getting healed, like the Jericho situation, just those stories. But why do I keep blanking on what I'm saying?
Bro, you're getting old.
I think it's just looking at your face. Like every time I look over at Cole, he's like,
Hey, I think we should one of these episodes we could just start scrapping on camera.
How about every time we could fight, and we need to do cut to the bloopers of just you just looking at me. Why was I talking about radical faith?
Bring it back.
Can you remember as the host why I'm talking? Like,
Who said I was the host?
yeah, I don't know, but you are. You're the
I am
SUB30
the
guy.
host. I'm the host.
Nate, do you know what I was talking about? Like,
Honestly, no. And I'm trying to think, but I honestly should get a mic.
I was
Bruh.
on like a radical. Like, what was I talking about?
I don't
for
know.
kids.
I'm
Just
him.
about faith.
I'm him.
Oh yeah. What's crazy is I was given a whole story. This has no biblical value in this ending the point. So nothing to do with anything. But anyways, I get up, I talk about Jesus feeding the 5,000 and kind of give them some facts about that, which is just a whole nother story. It's super cool. Like, fun fact about Jesus feeding the 5,000. It's one of the only 2 miracles recorded across all the gospels. So Jesus being resurrected and then Jesus feeding the 5,000 is the only thing you can find in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Wow.
Which is kind of crazy when you think about it. So fun fact, obviously, important enough for everybody to write down. But there's just cool keys and stuff in that Jesus feeding the 5,000, which is crazy. Obviously, there's 5,000 men there. Women weren't accounted for then. So there's probably 10,000 or could have been 20,000 people. They were following Jesus. He just got the news his cousin had got beheaded. He's trying to go solo to get pray, isolated. He sees these people following him. He starts talking to them, realize they need to get fed, and then ask, the disciples, like, what do we have here? And they're like, send them away. We don't have food. And he's like, no, what do you mean? You feed them. Mm-hmm. And they're like freaking out because there's only 5 bread and two fish. And it's like the whole correlation of that is how many times do we just doubt Jesus in the moment? Like in our hands is 5 loaves and 2 fish, but in his hands it feeds the multitude.
Yeah.
And like the key thing in that whole scripture is he says like, bring it to me. Mm-hmm. So like, what are we holding on to as people that we can be bringing it to Jesus? But anyways, to wrap up that whole funny story is that was a biblical part. But I gave a testimony of me doubting Jesus when I got banned, for rugby. And then obviously I circled back and I had more than enough. Mm. Well, I got banned because I had took pre-workout that had steroids in it and it was like 5% of it. So there's a whole other story, which you could probably get into or whatever. But
I never even heard that.
Anyways, I didn't tell them that like I didn't take it like it was in a pre-workout. I just said I got banned for steroids and blah, blah, blah. So then at the end of my whole 20 minutes message, altar call, 30 kids getting prayed for.
Oh, wow.
A kid, like 3 kids come up to me after. So did you take drugs? I'm like, dang it. I forgot to tell you. No, I didn't take drugs. And then literally 20 kids after that. Like, I think that a lot of kids got prayed for that night, but I forgot to tell them that I didn't maliciously take drugs. So like there was leaders like coming up to me like, did you take steroids? What happened? I'm like, did I forget to bring that up?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but your boy got banned for 4 years, man. It's kind of crazy.
I think I knew that,
Yeah.
but I hadn't heard the story. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
bro. Freaking national rugby tournament, college, just playing in Philadelphia, not thinking anything of it. I'm the only one on my team in college on Team USA. So like after this college national tournament, I'm going to go try out for the Pan American teams for 4 weeks. So get to like the quarterfinals, semifinals around there. I take pre-workout because everybody else is taking pre-workout. There's like 3 games a day, bro. So it's like you're getting tired. There's a lot of energy. Obviously the pre-workout will get you fired up. So I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll take the pre-workout, get my face tingling, that kind of stuff. So took the pre-workout, didn't think anything of it. Go out there, play a couple games. Next week, go out to Chula Vista, which is a Olympic training center, get drug tested. Don't think anything of it because I don't do drugs. So then train for like another 3 weeks, make the Pan American team, go out to Peru, get named a starter, 9 p.m. that night. Before the game at 9 a.m. the next day, I get a call. You've been banned. I'm like, they've been having my drug test for 3 weeks. And it was a day before I started. The next day they told me I was banned. And my mom was like on her way over from Peru, like from America to Peru to watch me play. I can't communicate to her. So I'm like, what? Like I don't understand like obviously what's happening and that kind of stuff. But
dang.
Yeah. So like I'm figuring out all this stuff real time. Like I'm going to my coaches. Like I'm obviously crying because I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Like I've been banned. Like what's going on?
Yeah.
And then realize like the next morning I got to get kicked out of the village because I'm a dirty athlete. And like when you're like in an Olympic village or
That's like,
Pan American village, like that's the worst of the worst. It's like
you're like the
you're max prison, like max security. Like why you're around normal people.
and you just didn't even know. You're like, what did I do?
What happened? What's going on? Like I took pre-workout 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I don't like, what are we talking about?
That's crazy.
So, and then it like came up like this drug is like bad. Like it's on like so you can get like, there's like a 2-year ban list and a 4-year ban list. And obviously as an athlete, 4 years is like max sentence. So you don't really return after 4 years. It's like basically missing your whole high school career, whole college career and thinking you're going to go to the next level. It's like, it's pretty hard to do.
Yeah.
So slapped me with a 4-year ban because this drug is like the top tier drug that is like on like a all banned list, like everywhere. I looked this up. It's called GW1516. That's what the drug's called. Even if I would have read that, I still would have took it because what does that mean? Like, I don't know what GW15, like get a pre-workout or get something to read all the numbers and letters on it. Okay.
Yeah.
So start reading. And now that I know what I know about over the counter stuff, none of that stuff is regulated. So GW1516, but it literally says, like, I looked that up because I don't know what it is. Me and my mom had to look this up. I'm like, hey, what did I test positive for? Tell me what it is. We look it up. First thing that pops up, like big, bold red letters, like you're risking more than a positive test. You're risking your life. And it's like, okay, what the heck? This drug got banned in 2007. They tested it on rats. It gave them all cancer.
Oh, Lord.
So like, it's like a big thing. Like you have to very like meticulously take it because it kills people.
What
it
is
gives
it?
them cancer.
Well, it's steroid?
Yeah, it's like a weight loss, like a fat, like steroid / like weight loss.
Jeez.
But it's like a very, very specific drug. Like, you know me, bro. I'm not elite. I'm not elite to like even know the details of like, people were like, what?
Yeah.
Like that. But yeah, I got slapped with 4 years, bro. Like I couldn't be around any athletic facilities. I couldn't go into locker rooms, anything like that. Had to watch the homies win a bronze medal. Couldn't get a medal. Couldn't be in the locker room. Had to be in the stands.
Dang.
Couldn't be around the facilities. Had doubt immediately. Am I ever going to play rugby again? Well, this is stupid. This always happens to me, that kind of stuff. And then 4 years later, did the internship, married the love of my life, got to go back to the Pan American Games, started, scored, played in Fiji.
Okay.
Got to be on the Olympic team to like be on the trials, 20 on the team, 15 go. So
what happened? I wonder in that. Then I'm just making me think. What happened in that 4-year period of being banned that was significant and needed to happen in order to prepare you for the.
Well, the cool thing is I think JoJo talked about it yesterday.
Because clearly, like you needed, like that needed to happen for some reason.
Oh, 100%. Like I wouldn't have with rugby. I was never back in Tulsa, so I wouldn't have met Allie again. The girl I dated in high school, met I was 12, since here, like love of my life. Wouldn't have rekindled things with her.
Yeah.
But that 100% needed to happen. But the crazy thing is that I think people get it confused that JoJo talked about this yesterday, but a lot of people, and definitely our age, is like, God is just testing me or putting this storm on me. And it's like, no. God didn't make me take steroids or put that steroids in the pre-workout so I could get banned so I could learn a lesson from it. Like, let's not get that confused at all. But what the devil meant for bad, God turned to good. So like in that moment, like, I mean, I was a very like, hey, sports is my life. I'm majoring in rugby, God second, that kind of like I'm rugby. That's me. So like when I got banned, I'm still focused on rugby, but I'm here and I'm around and now I'm going to church.
Piece was taken out.
Yeah. Now I'm going to church and I'm still thinking about rugby in 4 years, rugby. And then Pastor Bill's like internship and I'm like church. And then I'm like, okay, well I can do the internship. I'll get a free apartment, free meal card, free athletic training, still rugby at the end of it. Rugby, but I'm still here. Now I'm here every day as a full-timer, planted. And this is what I was talking that's why I was talking about my friend who hit me up yesterday. He was just saying, you know, he just got baptized. He wants to get more intimate relationship with God. And I'm just like, you know, the only answer I can give to you is time. Obviously, spend time in his word, but it's time. It's time with God. Like any relationship that you want to grow is time.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. Like the more I was around here, the more I'm planted, the more I'm just like, like my heart started to change and like my vision and like what I thought was what I wanted to do. Actually, I'm like, nah, my piece is here. Like, I feel comfortable when I'm away at the Olympic Training Center in San Diego with chefs training twice a day and then playing video games the other twice, like chilling, having fun. And I'm thinking, I want to be back home.
Yeah.
Like when it's cold, like I'm like, okay. So like it was a natural shift where like my piece just naturally, obviously I'm like, dude, I want to be here.
Yeah. The time piece is important.
It's time.
And that's a great example is like, any relationship that you want to grow
I just said what's up to Pastor Taylor. Sorry. He was looking at her.
Is time because, and I feel like that's a lot of our age. Like it's the quick gratification. It's like people want to get rich quick. They want to get rich overnight. Like they want, okay, what is this Jesus thing? I want it now. You can't have it now, but there's still like you have to put in the time. You have to get in the word. You have to be in prayer. You have to, you got to put forth like effort.
Yeah. I mean, PC said it yesterday because I was talking to that guy and it's like, you can't only go to your wife or your girlfriend when you need something. And that's how most people think with Jesus. It's like, I'm spending time with God because when I need something, I go to him. It's like, you can't do that. Yeah. Like that's not a relationship. That's not double-sided. So.
Oh. Hand off the mic.
Oh yeah. That's bad gesture, man.
Pastor Taylor's coming here giving us freaking pointers.
Yeah. Take your hand off the mic, bro. But yeah, it's just time spent. So, but the crazy thing is our generation, the whole time it's a question and it's need and wants from God and not really just spending time with him. So
we got to step up, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Tune into the podcast.
We wrapping up.
Is it? What time is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's 37, man. I got stuff to do. I'm in trouble right now.
You're in trouble?
Yeah. I got
who?
Your mom. I got a meeting. Seriously. That's my boss now.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
There's 4 of us here now.
Yeah. And 2 of them are Rodriguez, and one of them
is not from America.
Yeah, and doesn't sound like he's from America at all.
No.
I called Abby Surratt yesterday, and I realized that she was a Rodriguez, and it's weird.
What do you think their kids are going to be like?
Louis?
Yeah,
my son, which is unfortunate. Unfortunate, but if I had to guess what Abby and Simone's kid would look like, it'd be like Louis, a white baby with colored eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, but that's it, man.
Well, yeah, I don't know why I do that.
I just got a cramp in my stomach. That's just like a comfortable thing for you. I didn't eat breakfast or have a coffee or something.
Bro, hey, this guy needs help right here.
I'm falling apart, bro.
Golly, he's like forgetting things, getting cramps. How old are you?
28.
Yeah, you need more bananas.
I do need a banana. Yeah. I'm genuinely cramping up in my rib right now. I don't think I can move. It hurts.
That's crazy.
All right, man. This is good. This is good stuff, man. I love chatting with you sometimes.